Pastor Marty Murray, piloting the boat, and his group of volunteers tie up to their truck after a rescue mission. Port Arthur, Tex. Marty Murray and his friends powered the airboat along the water, passing cars submerged to near invisibility in the darkness, until the airboat suddenly ran aground onto asphalt and into the flashlight beams of three men carrying AR-14 assault rifles. It was after 9 p.m., and the sky was dark, the water's darker, and the police had urged people not to do things like this. But Murray, 45, was determined to rescue people tonight, determined to heed the calls coming in over the ad hoc walkie-talkie system that volunteers like him were using to help the people he knew were stranded out there in the darkness. And he had just driven 3 hours from New Caney. He wasn't going home empty-handed. "I gotta go to 61st Street to get a woman and a dog," he said, stepping out of the airboat and staring at the armed men. Subscribe to the Post-Most newsletter. Today's most popular stories on the Washington Post. Murray, a small-town church pastor and businessman by day, is among the hundreds or even thousands of ordinary Texans who have been transformed overnight with the force of a flood, the blessing of some boats, and no small dose of courage into men with a higher purpose. And so it was that on Wednesday night, after 2 days of rescuing flood victims in the small towns north of Houston where he lives, and after driving 3 hours east in pursuit of the moving storm and more rescues, Murray and his friends wound up in this devastated town on the Louisiana border, face to face with other ordinary men like them who also came to help. Murray, an imposing man clad in camouflage rain boots, didn't like the fact that the men had guns, especially not with fears of possible looting coming in over the radio. "What are you doing?" he said, scowling at the men, who approached slowly under the orange glow of a street lamp. "You're going to scare people." As they drew closer, the rifle bearers turned out to be in their teens or early 20s. One wearing a Batman t-shirt and another a shirt that said USA Proud. "They brought the guns for protection," they said mysteriously, "because people are robbing people. We got reports that there were 60 people over here robbing people." Murray responded, "I said, I don't care. There were people who needed rescuing," he added, and he had heard over the radio that there were 10 children nearby in need of an evacuation, as well as a woman and her dog. A couple other volunteer rescuers, Brian Jamar, who runs an air conditioning company, and Josh Frankus, who works in septics, had by that point wandered over, too. They had responded to the same call, but they had been searching the area for hours and couldn't find any kids in need of rescue. "I'm pretty sure it was a bogus call," Jamar, 29, said. Murray persuaded a few of the others to join him and his friend for one last search anyway, and soon they were speeding off on another monster truck toward the address other volunteers had given them. Murray and his group of volunteers wait for a call to take their boat in for a rescue at a staging area in Beaumont next to a Waffle House. They soon received a call to rescue a woman and a dog and 10 children trapped in an apartment. They get an adrenaline-pumping thrill from these rescue calls.